Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the 12 March Hindu Analysis editorial. So I know the editorial is little bit late because I was stuck in some holy shoppings and I just got the time, and whatever the time is left I just making the editorial. I know it was late, but I don't want to break this continuity of continuing this Hindu editorial series. So I am just maintaining this series, and already I have revised. Already I go through this newspaper in early morning. So this is the revised editions of Hindu editorial analysis, where you got a revision series as what is going in the current affair and what are the important articles and editorials about international relation discussion, everything at same place, this place. If you're new to my channel and you find it productive, just go through, spare some time and go through my channel. You will find if you find the content good, just give me a feedback and subscribe to my channel for updating, for always being updated in the current affairs. So let's start with the today's new eternal. Let's have a recap, and as always, starting the day with the thought of day. Basically, the day is going to end in just 2 minutes. It's already 12. It's 12 p.m. So always end the day with the positive thoughts. No matter how things were, tomorrow a fresh opportunity to make it better. So no matter how the end is, we're not able to make it productive or not, but don't ruin the tomorrow in the thinking of past and how the things are hard. Just start the tomorrow with the fresh opportunities and make it better. Every day is a new day, so just utilize that day. So today's editorial will cover about the EC invites the parties for talks to strengthen the poll process, and the Pakistan separatists attacked a train to take many hostages. Second page is covering about the delimitation fears, duplications, epic stall. Rajya Sabha DMK MP says South will lose out. Third, covering about the Wayanad landslides, foundation for new township to be laid on March 27, and is permit mandatory for trips to be deserted places in Karnataka. Fourth, covering about the editorial is the building compassion into healthcare structure by a Nobel Peace Laureate founder Kailash Satyarthi. Fifth one is Fifth, covering about the data of the how much the US spent on the national income on a foreign aid. And sixth is covering about the new opportunities as a small box news, and the Modi call on Mauritius president discussed ties. Seventh, covering about the top intelligence chief meeting India's weekend, and the eighth editorial is about. So these are the editorials that we are going to discuss today. So just stay tuned to last. You will find this editorial interesting and amazing. So EC invites the parties for talks to strengthen the poll process. So already there was some fraud claiming in the EPIC number. What is EPIC? It's electoral photo identity card. So there is some issue that how the voter numbers are increased suddenly, and so there is a party's talk for to strengthen the poll processes. So EC invites their commission on Tuesday and head and senior leader for all political parties for interaction to further strengthen the electoral processes. So the political parties submit a suggestion by April 30 regarding any unsolved issues at local level. The issues of duplicate electoral photo identity card was the first raised by TMC. Already it was raised this issue by TMC, which made a public list of people with same number, and the Congress, which has already alleged the large scale voter list for manipulation during the Maharashtra Assembly. There was a news of that how the Maharashtra Assembly number of voters were increased, and the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, raised the matter in the Lok Sabha, saying that entire opposition has been demanded in discussion on voter list. So in this individual letters, political parties on Tuesday polls on the Representation of People Act 1950. It's Representation of People Act 1950 of People Act 1950, and it's a Supreme Court manuals on hand issued by ISHI from time to time have to together establish a decentralized, robust, and transparent legal framework for holding the fair elections. So the commission advised an interaction with the party presidents with a senior member at a time to further the strengthen coordinates, and the parties are among us 28 stakeholders identified by the commission as constitution of electoral processes statement. Next is about the incident. It happened in the Pakistan separatists attack a train. There is a attack on train and there is a take many hostages. So there is already this was accompanied by the Baloch Liberation Army, this BLA, claimed that it derailed the train and took the hostages. Already that Pakistan is already ruled by their military and like Taliban's, and there was a, and in also in that case that separatist militant that they had taken a hostages during an attack on train carrying 100 of people in southwestern Pakistan on Tuesday, threatened to kill them if their demands were not met. So the official governments did not immediately confirm whether the hostages have been taken or not. So there is a 400 passengers carrying there. That's 400 passengers there, in which under fire the driver was wounded, and police rail officials said security forces said explosion had been heard in a militant, and the its Baloch Liberation Army, a militant separatist group, said that a hostage should be from train include security. So there is a Pakistan Interior Interior Minister Mosfiq Naqvi and attacked and said the government would not make any concessions to the beast who fire on an innocent passenger. The Balochistan government has imposed emergency measures to deal the situation, and decade-old insurgency in Balochistan by a separatist militant to measure the deal with situation, and decades of old militants groups were increases. So there is a basically demand is the government frequent attack against the government army in Chinese inter-eastern region, pressing the demand for share in mineral rich resources. So moving to the next page is delimitation fears duplicate epic stalls Rajya Sabha and DMK. So there is already a debate on the about the electoral photo identity card and apprehensions over a limitation exercise to adjournment of Rajya Sabha. So Dravida Munnetra Kajan members in black trooped well in house, that alleging that southern state will get a raw deal if delimitation involves redrawing the constituency solely on the population. Sorry. So moved 21 notices under Rule 267 seeking suspension, and out of these 18 were moved as MP Congress, and regional it's a Tribunal Congress and Biju Janata Dal and Aam Aadmi Party seek a debate on duplicate epic number recently flagged by the Balancing Act. DMR MP Giriraj followed allowed to speak about a delimitation during the 0 hour. So during the 0 hour, already know what is 0 hour, what are the hours in the parliament session. So 0 hour here in the 0 hour there is talking about delimitation. So Mr. Giriraj to speak about the resumed protest soon afterward, despite pleas from the opposition did not relent, forcing him to adjourn the house from 11 to. So grave threat is here. The Punjab estimated successfully implemented the family planning measures standard to lose the parliament and seat the representative after delimitation. So South state are scaring that if a delimitation is again maintained, there is a population is low in that states. So there is a like less constituencies. So there is a more chances of the northern states make the ministers, and they don't even get a chances to for upcoming ministers and like that. So they don't want basically want a delimination commission to again, because this was going to be in 2026. Already 4 times delimination commission is made. Until now the 2026 is going to be that formation of delimination commission, but still it is not meet. Next is, it's about today about the editorial, basically covering the very beautiful aspects in every corner about by it's Kailash Satyarthi. It's a Nobel Peace Laureate and founder Satyarthi Movements. So what is the NGO is Bachpan Bachao Andolan, and it's so already knows that. So here about on Feb 7 about the WHO published reports. Its report is released. The report is known as Compassion and Primary Health. It's Compassion and Primary Health, which recognizes the transformative force in primary health. The Director General of WHO is Dr. Tedros. It's Dr. Tedros. Adhanom Ghebreyesus also called for has called an exploration for role of compassion in a global health species attention to impact and healthcare services. So based on my the personal experience interacting in medical field and available evidence, confidence of reports, seen to advocating the Health Assembly 21 and several other WHO United Nations forum gave a clarion to finally notice the world is waking up necessity. So helping the patient. So most of the here visit the hospital for a personal consultations or for a family members. At some point of in our lives, be impolite and indifferent doctor and nurses and compensate staff. So there is a WHO who makes a remarkable shift in healing progresses. So result conducted by Stanford University is the Centers for Compassion and Altruism Research Education. A CCRE found that patients treated by compensate healthcare provider recover quickly and duration of their hospital stay is very less. So it's very less. Compassion is just for a beneficial of patients and for the professional practices compassion. So the term and difference is that let us not make a mistake with a compassion with sympathy. Empathy and kindness term which are often used interchangeably. Sympathy is the pity based. Is pity based when people immerse, while empathy people immerse themselves into just in themselves. In other problems, they get overwhelmed in the process. Healthcare workers who operate along with a demanding working hour can lead to stress and lead to empathy fatigue. Fatigue further degrade the quality of care to patient. So, other hand, compassion is about the mindful problem solving. It's mindful problem solving, and they feel the patient pain as their own, but at same time maintain detachment that will not less than overwhelm. Compassion facilitates adopting slow professional to other excellent medicines. While WHO is focused primarily on healthcare, we must also realize the urgent need and widespread impact on long-term consequences. Individual worldwide and having a world children risk from the slavery and abuse. Understanding of mental health has been deeply influenced through the experience, and it's Pradeep soon after his birth exorcist solution to human sacrifice to appease, and the day of sacrifice landed instead of injuring and abandoned. So all the children who has come to the Bal ashram experience trauma, so never coax them to speak or open up about their past. The teacher action at a Bal ashram is very sensitive. It's very sensitive toward the children, and that is how we see a miracles. So here this is what a true compassion is. My philosophy and compassion has always been rooted in transformative actions. We need to recognize that healthcare is not just about treating illness but also promoting the overall well-being individual. So how can we into practice? putting into practices and should not come with the good things. Compassionate about the healthcare must become a driving principle for industry leader and health leader tanks. Second is we need to equip the healthcare provider for what is compensate care is about all, and it's a quality, and they can incorporate effortlessly all the doctor, nurses, paramedical staffs, and experimental learning. So last, compensate healthcare must be equitable, accessible, and quality of healthcare for respective gender castes. So there is a data in a 2023 US spent 0.24% of their national income on foreign aid. So the data is about the small drop makes an ocean. So there is a data. So what you are talking about, it's a GNI, it's gross national income, that is the GDP, and exchange from foreign country in the, and import from the foreign, exchange from foreign and into to the foreign. So here it's in early 1980s, almost half of the million peoples were paralyzed by polio every year, and most of them were children. But look at the progress of world has made. In 2023, they were same number as cases as just in 2 days in 1981. Foreign aid programs have played a crucial role in fight against polio. So the chart one shows here the other donor countries. It's 1.6 billion, and 1.4 billion non-NGO G7 OECD country. 1.2 billion is the G7 countries with a European Commission. $1 billion is domestic resources, 800 million private sector, non-governmental. So here the chart one already shows the polio eradication funding over time, while the private donors have made the largest contribution in recent years. The rollover past last decade in 1990 in more than 80%. It's 80% of the polio, particularly in donor countries' funding. So what is true? The polio is also true for other diseases and essential sources like food. The PFR program launched by USA is estimated to have saved over 25 million lives from HIV. Donation for bed nets is donated. Donation from bed nets in 2020 world would have a 240 billions in small percentage, and uh, its economies, and take US about 0.24% of its gross national income, and chart 3 is more than 1% of GNI. So how we can world can achieve more of this? One question you might have is whether most of the world aids come from the governments and private donors. Most are dominated by billionaire found philanthropies, and if its form citizen can have some in the influence on the global aid. So more than 95% foreign in 2003, just under $1 billion. Uh, it's 4.5%, or the total came from private grant. So the main two things is, first, a drop in a support of for aid can have a high consequences. It's 62 billion. It's 62 billion dollar in 23. And second implication is that increase in global foreign aid building. It's zero point 0.7 GNI, 5 countries. Chart 5 here shows that potential of a foreign aid. Chart 4 here, chart 5 here. Potential foreign aid tries to meet UN target in billion dollar. So let's imagine that a public in developed countries pressure their government to step up and meet this target. If all developed the countries to achieve this, we add extra 216 billion. It's 216 billion to the pot, meaning a uh, global official development assistance. And again, it is important to highlight that a still relatively small amount. Interestingly, the Far East Less 2015 survey, Americans were asked to guess how much US federal spending It's only about 1% and 3% of the respondent got the answer right and 31% right. What is asking, and 10 times more than what is currently spent. So other countries are spending more than the that how much that US is exaggerated to their help. They're just using their 0.24% of national income on foreign aid. So data so completely shows the what is the situation, what is the condition of it. So moving to the next is, it's about the it's a Modi call on Mauritius president discussed ties. There was already visiting of spread. It's the bestowed with the topmost honor of Mauritius Grand Commander Award. A question can be asked that what is the highest civilian award from of Mauritius? It's the Grand Order of Star. Grand Order of Star, and the Indian its Prime Minister is Navindra Ramnugam announced on Tuesday, and his Modi is a 2-day state visit to country, and he will also chief guest at National Day celebration in Mauritius on Wednesday. So he was also a chief guest on a Mauritius on Wednesday. Questions can be asked that what is the Mauritius, about Mauritius, what is there in every country, and how it is related to the current affair. So here the External Affairs Minister Modi is first Indian to receive honor for a 21st international honor bestowed is the foreign country. Another, it is called Mauritius President. It's Dharbin Gokul at the state. He also gifted. So as a special contact is deepening on the leader exchange views on the bilateral, close and bilateral trade and ties between India and Mauritius. And the president of card to Gokul firstly, he also gifted Sangam water from Mahakum in the brass and copper pot and makhana to Mr. Gokul. So these are the gift exchanging there. 2-day visit. Next is the new opportunity is India and Canada can discuss the reset after new Prime Minister. So there is a Prime Minister already, the arrival of Mark Carney, who is a new Prime Minister designated there, and this is a tough task is to expected. What is expected there? It's about federal elections in Canada to the October 2025. Here, 2000, what observer says the Mr. Carney is a snap goal first, hoping to surge unexpected party, and Donald Trump since took a suggesting Canada would be better for US 51st state. Basically, they want to merge into the US as a 51st state. So what is the now? And now has been threatened to impose a slew of tariffs, accusing Canada of unfair duties as well as allowing a fentanyl drugs, threatened the counter tariffs and considered with the Mr. Carney claiming that in the trade to convince the voter for ability, implementing expel to diplomatic blunder and action seen in the US linked cases of India lowest ebb since 1980s. Moving to the next is 6 already covered. 7th is the top intelligence chief will meet in the this weekend. So the NSA Ajit Doval and conclave likely to discuss the way of intelligence sharing the combat terrorism, bring together heads and dispute of intelligence from some 20 nations. So here the it's Tulsi Gabbard, Canadian spy chief Daniel Roger, Britain M16 boss Richard Murray will be among the top global intelligence czar converging in India, and India's National Security Advisor had hosted the Clave on March 16, which is expected to deliberate and enhance the intelligence during sharing the combat terrorism and various constitutional crimes. So the intelligence chief, Australia, Germany, New Zealand, Xavier are expected to join. These are the India-Canada ties, and also the country is going to arrange on 16 March on US Director Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard in Washington DC. February 13, this earlier picture was there. So it is learned that US Director of National Intelligence will arrive in India on March 15 after Thailand, and last Mr. Gabbard, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also visit the Washington. So India-Canada ties is it's a Canada Security Intelligence and Chief Roger taking places in Frosty Ties, Hardeep, and there is India's and Canada come under the 7th strain of the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Allegations with Indian agents killing of Nijar Canadian soil, New Delhi rejected, and Mr. Trudeau charges are absurd on the relation of Nazareth. So next is Asha Walker will get an enhanced pay for, says Union Minister. So already the Asha we have a small article about the Asha's worker. So what is the full form of Asha? Accredited social health care activist. So they are basically not a permanent body, not a governmental organization, but basically they are paid by an NGO kinda. It's a and they are just so how they are doing their duties for creating awareness and already in the many areas for so to make them socially and permanent body. So there is a enhanced space. The Union Minister to inform the Rajya Sabha on Tuesday till announcement has been demanded across the country's Asha workers who form the backbone of government. So here the National Health Mission meeting at last week about the incentives of Asha workers and government will go ahead with to this. A lot of workers, he was also replying to the supplementaries during the questions. So the Asha workers are doing very good job and have a full appreciation of them because at a grassroots level as they help to reduce the maternal mortality, IMR infants rate and under the 5 mortality rate. They are doing great work and this should be it should be praised and also enhanced by socially by government support also. So there is Asha workers would be also great point to be raised and Asha workers to be raised to 21,000 as they should receive as back that earlier. So these are all for today's session. So let's have a summary and ending this session. For front page is covering the EC invites the parties for a talk for strengthening the poll processes. Pakistan separatists attack a train on took a many hostages. Second is about elimination fears duplicates. The DMK MP says South will lose out. Third one is covering about the Wayanad Landslide Foundation March 27. So there was a landslides about the March 27 comprehensive rehabilitation project and it's a notice seeking for leave adjournment. There is already landslide in Wayanad already in current affairs. So there was a foundation for new township there. Fourth one is about the editorial building completion to healthcare structure. Fifth article is covering about the US spend 0.24 through the charts and data. We have already discussed it. And next is the new opportunities for an Indian Canada to set up after new Prime Minister and Modi calls on Mauritian President discuss ties. Seventh thing was about top intelligence chief in meeting in Weekend and Asha Walker will get enhanced pay by Indian Minister. So that's for today. I'm very exhausted now, but somehow I managed to do the current affair. I don't want to break the continuity because only the one thing that I can do is my consistency and I don't want to break is only thing that I found that this can be a quality that should be maintained because I'm not able to do everything, but at least for you and also for mine I should be want to be in as a part of my discipline also. So thank you. Tomorrow we will meet with the new editorial. Till now, good night and take care. See you tomorrow with a new editorial. So bye bye.